Hello, this is Harold. It's January the 21st, 2016, and this is my stock market watch. Well, good morning, everybody. This is Harold, and I'm here watching the stocks for you. I started out like 4 o'clock this morning, so watching the futures and see what's going on. And I just want to show you some of the things happening. But first off, I just want to let you know, as far as my experience and knowledge of the stock market, I was in the market for 8 years. I had an account and done daily trading for a couple of years. And then in 2007, when everything was going south, I got out of the stock market and I haven't been back in since. But I do watch the stock market and keep up with it every day. So, people say, well, how, where do you get your information from and how do you know what's going on? Well, I watch the futures overnight and I research the companies on the computer, and and I bring you the facts as they are presented from the companies and from the people that are talking about the stocks. But don't get caught up in the pump and dump. We're in a decline. And I keep saying that the stock market is crashing in slow motion, and I'm sticking with that for now. I still think we got a ways to go. We've lost over 1,000 points in January already, and it's only January the 21st. So, without further ado, let's talk about some of the stuff. As you can see, this chart here, you can see overnight. This is tonight's chart. You're going to see the stocks. If they follow the futures from last night, we're looking at 300 plus points down. So we could have another 500 point swing today in the Dow Jones. On the 20th, which was yesterday, we had 1,000 point swing on the Dow Jones. I mean, that is absolutely crazy. It went down 500, came back up 500, then we ended up down. So. And talking about this, what else is driving the market? Well, there's a couple of things. Labor is one. They keep talking about the job market and how unemployment's 5 or 6%. I hope you haven't bought into that, because the real number is probably closer to 50%, because 94 million Americans are not working now that was working in 2007. So, and then the new jobs that they're creating are only part-time jobs. And this chart here, I just want to show you, this is not me making it up. This is what the oil market is doing in the United States. You can see that since January, the first of the year, oil has plummeted, and it's basically gone down because we lifted the embargo on Iran, and they're flooding the market with oil. Saudi Arabia is pumping more oil. All these countries that are oil rich are, they're selling as much as they can, as cheap as they can, to try to get rid of to make money, because their stock market and other things in the stock market are not doing well. So oil is going to continue to decline. So, and in talking about oil, it doesn't matter what stocks you have. You need to check with your broker to make sure that you don't have stocks that are being delisted and coming off the stock market, because there's hundreds of companies that are just shutting down now, and they're going to come off the stock market. There's a lot of stocks that are below $1 a share, and I'm not going to go over all those right now, but I'm in the future, hopefully in the near future, I'm going to start listing some of those, but right now I don't have them. But you need to be asking the right questions, because your stockbroker is going to tell you, no matter what, stay in the market, because the market's going to come back. And that is true. The market will come back. But will the stocks be there that you own? That's the question, and you need to ask that question. And then I did bring up Twitter yesterday, and I'm hoping that Twitter will survive. Maybe it'll come off the stock market, as far as being a traded company, and maybe it'll still survive. But I'm hoping that they do something to bring in some revenue so they can keep it, because I do like Twitter. I use Twitter, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'll have the link below the video so you can follow me on Twitter and keep that going. But keep an eye on Twitter. Another barometer is Square. The little Square thing you put in your phone to take credit cards. Well, for some reason they're having problems, and I don't really know why they're having problems, but their stock is really going down, and I guess people are not using it as much. I had a personal experience with it that didn't really work for me in the end. So a couple other stocks you want to look at. I'm going to talk about copper first. When you see copper go down like this, copper is an indicator of construction, and when copper goes down, it means there's not as many people buying it to do construction and build houses or hotels or whatever it is they're building that's in construction. So you have to watch the copper stocks, and when they go down like that, that means there's a slowdown in housing. Another one is the steel corporation. When you see steel go down like this, it means they're not shipping out as much steel to China. They're not making as many metal studs. They're not making as many cars. Now, Viacom. I don't know much about Viacom, but I was just listening to them talk about it a little bit this morning. And if you have stock in Viacom, you need to question that, because from what I understand, they've lost 43% of their stock. So that's not good, 43% down for Viacom. And getting back to the end here, talking about the U.S. stock market, I just want to say I think we still have a long ways to go. I could be dead wrong. Don't bank on anything I say. Do your own research. Talk to your own stockbroker. Make sure you don't have a lot of money in stocks that these companies that are going out of business. Why? Even if you're going to get anything on these companies that are going to go out, why not liquidate that and put it into something else? But one problem I have with the U.S. stock market, they talk about how the government owns that stock market, and they manipulate it. Well, the U.S. has done the same thing. Don't forget, we have a short memory when it comes to this stuff. Our U.S. government has put in probably more than $2 trillion into our stock market to prop up the stock market. This is Harold, and I'm watching the stock market for you, and I have one thing to tell you. Keep an eye on your money.